Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. Remember to comment down below, bell notification, subscribe to the channel, become members of Jabroni Killers for an industry cheap and best value on YouTube and in the sphere to keep these once a day daily cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, and XRP videos coming for free. Super chat down to support the channel too. If you would like to, it helps keep this content flowing, the information you've come to expect, love, deserve, and need. And we did have a big correction day today, not so much in the Bitcoin price, but in the altcoins. We had a major correction that we were talking about. And if we start off with the Bitcoin price, you can see we topped out at the $103, $103,681. And we've been telling you we could be short-term bearish oftentimes after you come up to a major area that people have been watching. We liquidated almost $200 million worth of shorts, and then everyone's been loading up on the long. So we've been seeing and paying attention to see if we do hit some of these underneath targets. And one of them we almost did hit back here before we get into some of the altcoins. You can see we had a quick reversal from the 103,000 and change in the same candle, same daily candle, down to 92,231. And then we had a ferocious rally back up, and then we started to come back down today, where we had a low on the 9th earlier today of 94,000. And we're currently sitting at about 97,633. And our first underneath support would be that 90K. And then the second underneath support would be one we've been looking at, this slithering and sneaking uptrending 50-day moving average down here in the daily time frame of about 84,000. But if we bring it to the current date, it's up here at about 86,000 now. And then if we look at the major underneath support, which is this blue line, just below the 100-day moving average in blue at 74,719. But if we go into some of these other coins, that did have a very big fall. AMP did come down. It didn't have as big of a day down as everybody else. I'm still short-term bullish on AMP because I think this might trade outside of what the rest of the market's doing. After we have this nice pump back here on the 5th, we've consolidated down just like we consolidated pump, consolidated pump. This could be another one of those consolidations and pumps. And I am still short-term bullish on AMP, even though I'm bearish in the short term on some of these other coins. And our upside initial target would be about 2 1/3 cents. Our major underneath support, if we clone that, oop, I think I got it locked. No, clone. Our major underneath support is down here at about where the moving averages are at about 1/2 cent. But XLM, even though I've been short-term bearish ever since we've been back into here after we topped out at that 63 cents, on all my videos in the last 2 weeks, I've been short-term bearish on XLM for a reason, because if we look at some of the basic technicals, we had a 7x pump in about 14 days. But if we look here, we had our peak in volume in the daily time frame back here on the 16th, and we've been steadily declining in the daily volume, and in the mean of the volume has been coming down. And that gave me an indication that I was short-term bearish on it, right? Long-term bullish, but short-term correction bearish. And we did break through this 43 cents now. And then we have our major support, or one of our supports, at 31 cents, the 50-day moving average. And then we have a major support level down here at the just above the 100-day moving average in the daily time frame in blue, back over here from, oops, let's get our pointer tool back out, back over here from where we had our first, second blow off peak. And that was the next one that we finally consolidated and busted up through to get to this high. And this was the grayscale filing on a Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday. And then we started to tail off. But we hit once, twice, and then we had a nice rebound, but we didn't breach the old regional high. So we were targeting 43 cents as the first area of support. And today we had a big fall. We were down greater than 20% at one point, where we moved from about 50 cents on a wick low of about 35 cents. And now we're sitting up here at about 41 cents. But we did breach this 43 cents. And our next major area of short-term support would be 31 cents. And then 23 cents is a major area of support, which even if you came, like I've been talking about, even when we were up here at 60 and 50 cents, even if you tap this 23.5 cents, you're still bullish in the short to medium term. You would just want to hold that. A bearish confirmation would be breaking below the 23 cents, getting rejected by it, and then coming closer to the 13 cents. But those are some of the reasons that I was short-term bearish to medium-term bearish on XLM because I could see the topping out pattern starting to start and the volume steadily declining and more sell volume than buy volume. And you can see here where we had the major flush today. We went from about 46 cents to a wick low of about 23.99 to 24%. And now you can see we're kind of having the wick pullback buyback. And if we zoom in closer, you can see the volume was very, very strong in the sell volume, right? That was the biggest volume we've seen in several, over a week's time. And it was all sell volume. And now on the buyback, we're having a smaller volume come in the buys. And that leads me to believe we might be coming back up here to tag this 43 cents and we could be having one of those hook nose reversal patterns, hook nose Jew bearish reversal patterns right there, something like that. And that's something that I'm paying attention for because that would bring you down to the 31 cents in the daily time frame moving average, and then potentially all the way down to the 23 cents. And that's something that I've been watching out for you guys for the last couple of weeks, ever since mid-November, about the 22nd, when we had that big pump up to 63 cents. And I'm still short-term bearish in XLM. And I'm going to continue to watch the sell volume, continue to watch the daily volume, and continue to see which way the price action goes to see if we go to more short to medium term bullish. But right now, I'm still short to medium term bearish. And we did hit that first target of 43 cents. And now we're watching for the 31 and the 25. The same thing with XRP over the last week or so. Ever since we topped out here, I've been short term to medium term bearish too because we 6x returned and we had this $1.99 as our first target, which I'll show you what these coincide with. And we did hit that first target of $1.99 after we had our triple bottom here at about $2.24. And we told you that could be a sign of some short term bearishness if we didn't break the regional high of $2.91, which we didn't. We fizzled out here over this past weekend, and then we had the big flush on the Monday. But you can see this $1.99 is after we had this nice return rally. We had a consolidation just below that. And then we had our big spike right here. And that's where we got the $1.99 target. And then we had our second big pump up to $1.62. And then that's where we consolidated and then broke out of that. And that's why we had that as our second major area of support. And you can see we did come down to that $1.99 short-term target very, very nicely. And on today, XRP was down almost 20%, about 18.69% at its low. And if we go into the daily time frame, you can see why we have these areas down here that we're targeting. Actually, that one's in the 4-hour time frame. See that? We got the 100 to 200 day in green in the 4-hour time frame at $1.69. And that's why that major area supports there. And that would still be bullish in the short term, even if we came down to $1.65. But if we go back out into the daily time frame, you can see that was where we had our first big pump up and breached a dollar. We topped out at $1.25. And that's why that is a major area of underneath support. And you would still be bullish short term, even if you came all the way from 291 to $1.25, as long as you held that and formed a base. But if you got below that and confirmed below it and started trading down closer to 93 cents, that would be short to medium term bearish, right? But right now, it's just a bullish consolidation. And that's why I'm trying to keep you out ahead of this without all the hype, without all the FOMO, and without all the misinformation to let you know when I'm long term bullish or even in a long term bullish state, you can be short to medium term bearish. And this is a lot of profit taking coming out. We had a 6 to 8x return over about a 30-day period in XRP from about 42 cents to $2.91. There's obviously going to be profit taking. There's obviously going to be a correction and a consolidation the other way as everybody starts to get too bullish and too heavily weighted to the long side, right? So we did hit that $1.99 target. Now we're going to wait to see if we come back into the 4-hour time frame. Come here, kitty. We're going to wait to see if we come down to this $1.65 and maybe even all the way down to the $1.25 level. Not saying it's coming to the $1.25 level, but it is possible that you could come all the way back down there. But I'll keep you out ahead of this and keep you prepared and understanding on what's going on. Some of these other ones, people wanted ALGO. We were talking about this in ALGO the other day, where we were coming up here to this major green area that could be a major area of resistance, and it seems to be about 53 to 54 cents. We did peak above it, and we said if you could get into this area and have a big spike. You could come to 90 cents, but this is a major area of resistance right here. And if you got rejected, your first area of support would be the top part of this red trading zone at 35 cents. And we did wick down to 35 cents, and that was a 40% correction. We've wicked back up now at current price to about 46 cents and just about the moving average. But if we don't start to get some buys back in here, we may drop down. And if you drop down and get into this red area, you will fall down very, very quickly into this red trading area. And you'll see right here down to the moving averages, you would fall very quickly from about the 35 cents all the way down to the 23 cents if you don't hold support up here near the 35 cents. So we're going to pay attention to see if that does happen, as that's a major area where the price likes to shoot through it. But on the contrary, it likes to come back down the other way and shoot back down towards that. So we're going to put another price label here, because if we don't hold this 35 cents, you will see an algo and move back down to the right into the thick of the moving averages in the daily time frame down there at 24 cents. And that would be about a 65% correction from the 53 cents down to the 24 cents, as we had a ferocious rally ever since about Donald Trump's Donald Trump winning the election. We went from swing low there to swing high. We had a 4.5 to almost 5x return. So a major correction would be in the cards. And you can also see the volume here was steadily climbing all the way up until we hit about the first day of December. And now look where the volume's going. It's starting to decline down, and it's becoming more red or sell volume than green or buy volume, right? And then if we look at DGB, somebody else on here loves DGB. We're having that same kind of correction. We have this 2 1/3 cents or 2 1/4 cents is a major resistance zone that we bumped up against. And then the 4.5 cents, if it blowed through there, but it's got rejected. And we said if it gets rejected, you would come down closer to the moving averages. And our first target was about the 1 1/4 cents. And we're just above the 1 1/4 cents now. So if you keep correcting to the downside, you're going to come down into this 1 1/4 cents. And then if you keep correcting, you're going to come all the way down to below a penny to the 200-day moving average in the daily time frame. And that is what I'm paying attention for here. And that's what I'm going to continue to watch out for you, my beautiful audience here, as we had a major correction day today after all the bullish sentiment over the last few days. Let's see if any of this, if there's any news here. I don't really see anything I don't see anything that's really of interest to me here. Let's go into the Bitcoin and see if there's anything with Bitcoin. Total crypto liquidations here. This is interesting. Total crypto liquidations climbed to 1.5 billion after Bitcoin dips below 95. Crypto liquidations is money lost completely off the market by retail traders, for the most part. Past 1.5 billion within 24 hours as the price uh, retreated from the $100,000 level. Nearly 514,400 traders experienced liquidations. Among them, 1.38 billion were long positions, with 136.7 million short positions, according to data from crypto data tracker CoinGlass. Total liquidations for Bitcoin and Ethereum, respectively, 163 million and 204 million within the past day. Bitcoin briefly dipped to 94,000 before rising back to 97. Uh, Monday's liquidation followed a 1.1 billion in total crypto liquidations on December 5th, which had been the largest amount of liquidations since December 2021 due to large holders experiencing leverage flushes. Bitcoin surpasses 100,000 for the first time on December 4th at 103,679. Disclaimer, right? So that's very interesting. And that's why you don't want to go over leveraged or overhyped after major moves and feel like you're going to miss out on something, especially on leverage, because you often get bullied out of the market and get liquidated. Like, subscribe, and share to my lovely, beautiful, growing audience.